soir, j'ai quelque chose de très bon. Man accused of enslaving South Carolina woman at Arizona trouble. En 2016. A South Carolina man arrested after police discovered a woman chained inside a storage container on his property served time in Arizona prison after being accused of raping a Tempe girl when he was 15. Court records obtained by the Arizona Public show Todd Christopher Kohlepp lived in Arizona briefly as a teenager before his arrest. Kohlhepp, 45, was taken into custody Thursday morning after authorities discovered a woman who had been missing for more than 2 months, chained up like a dog in a container on Kohlepp's property in Spartanburg County. The woman, Kala Brown of Anderson, SC, told officials that other missing people may be found on the 95-acre property, triggering a massive law enforcement search. Officials did discover a body near the container where Brown was held captive, and the local sheriff has even gone as far as saying it could be the work of a serial killer. After body found, sheriff says it could be a work of a serial killer. The ghastly story of a woman kept in captivity for 2 months and found chained like a dog inside a metal storage container took another grim turn on Friday when cadaver dogs led searches to human remains on the 95-acre property where she was found, and the sheriff said investigators believe they may be dealing with the work of a serial killer. The 45-year-old at the center of that investigation, Todd Christopher Kohlepp, stood with his hand clasped behind his back as he was arraigned Friday on a charge of kidnapping Kala Brown, 30. While Kala is doing well physically, emotionally, she's having good moments and bad moments. Her family said in a statement release, right now, Kala needs time to process and begin to cope with events that have occurred. She thanks everyone for their love and support. Dressed in gym short and what appeared to be the same blue t-shirt seen in his booking photo, Kohlepp inquired about a public defender and answered, "Yes, sir," to question from Spartanburg County Magistrate Danny Burns. Burns said it would be up to a circuit court judge to decide what bound should be. His next court appearance is scheduled. Well, it was scheduled back in January 2017. He has not been charged in any death, but 7th Circuit Solicitor Barry Barnett said at least one murder charge is likely against Kohlepp. Brown, he said, has told investigators she watched Kohlepp shoot and kill her boyfriend, Charles David Carver, 32. Authorities are not prepared to say whether the body buried in a shallow grave on the property near Woodruff is that of Carver or someone else, nor have authorities determined whether the individual had been shot, Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright said at a late afternoon press conference. Wright said searchers were led to the body with the help of Cavender dogs, other investigative tools, and God's grace. It is possible that it is the work of a serial killer, the sheriff said. It's a deceased person. There could be more. Several old could be seen Friday night near the center of the property where an excavator had dug up the earth. A beige 2-story garage stood nearby. Barnett said investigators found a bed with chains around it in the living space above the garage. A gravel path connected to the garage to a dark green shed and storage container where Brown was kept chained. The door to the container was open and crime scene tape cordoned off the area. In one clearing, officers could be seen collecting evidence from one of several shallow holes in the ground. A 6-foot chain link fence circled the entire property, much of which was wooded. At Friday's hearing, Barnett described Kohlhepp as a very, very dangerous individual. Investigators also have found numerous weapons, including 9mm handguns with silencers, assault rifles, and an unbelievable amount of ammunition. Brown and Carver were last seen in late August at their Anderson Crossing apartment in Anderson and were reported missing by friends and family the first week of September. Brown's cell phone pinged on that property for as long as 2 days after she was last heard from by friends in Anderson, according to authorities. Kohlhepp was taken into custody on the Woodford Road property Thursday while investigators were executing a search warrant as part of a joint missing person investigation with Anderson police related to the case. Spartanburg investigators were on the property Thursday when they heard Brown banging on the container where she had been kept. A car that he and Brown were last seen driving was found on the property, Wright said. Wright said investigators have searched 30 to 40% of the 95-acre fence property on Woodford Road. They plan to continue until dark Friday and to return on Saturday. Member of Carvey's family spent part of the Friday at the search of the scene. Nathan Shiflett said he was there because I felt led to be there for my brother. The family issued a statement during the day describing how wonderful Iskala has been found and that she is receiving care and is back with family and friends. The outpouring of concern and affection from the community has been overwhelming and we are very thankful. They went to ask the public to continue to pray for Kala's healing and for David's safe return as well. Kohlepp, a pilot and real estate broker, owns the property and lives about 9 miles away in a middle-class subdivision on Windsong Way in Moore. He owns a real estate firm in Spartanburg County, employing at least 9 agents and listing more than a dozen homes and properties. Brown worked for Kohlepp cleaning houses before the real estate agent offered them for sale. Carver, her boyfriend, attended Crescent High School in Eva until May 2002, according to David Nixon, the deputy superintendent of Anderson School District 3. He worked at First Quality Enterprise in Anderson. A spokeswoman at the tissue company corporate headquarters in New York said she would not disclose any information about Carver, including his position at the plant. Kohlepp, a registered sex offender, entered a plea bargain to kidnapping and committing a dangerous crime against children in the first degree in connection with an incident that occurred when he was 15. According to more than 200 pages of Arizona court documents related to the case. Anderson couple's friend knew something was wrong long ago. Kohlepp neighbors relieved is in custody. According to the records, Kohlepp used his father's handgun to force a 14-year-old neighbor to walk to his home where he placed duct tape on her in his bedroom, tied her hand, and then raped her. Jail records show that Kohlepp entered prison in October 1987 and was released in August 2001, serving a 15-year sentence and ending with no parole. After being released from prison, Kohlepp moved to South Carolina, got a pilot license, earned a degree at the University of South Carolina upstate, and he began pursuing a real estate career. Kohlepp successfully applied for a real estate license in 2006 at a time when real estate agents were required to disclose information about past crimes. The state began requiring background check for new applicants in May 2015, said Licia Kudelka of South Carolina Department of Labor Licensing and Regulation. Kohlepp does not have any formal action stemming from complaints about his decade of real estate work in the cell. Kudelka said she could not say whether he had complaints that did not result in formal action. In applying for his real estate license, Kohlepp wrote that following a heated argument and breakup with his girlfriend, The two had gone looking for his dog and returned to his house. Police showed up at the home after having been called by his girlfriend's parents, who were concerned they could not reach her by phone, Kohlhepp wrote. He said, the kidnapping charge stemmed from having a firearm and because I had told her not to move while we talked this out. Kohlhepp said he had been carrying a gun because he was concerned about crime in the Phoenix area. Kohlhepp said he earned a GED and associate degree in computer science while incarcerated. He said his action after the day of the argument, November 24, 1986, demonstrated his desire to follow the law and do the right thing. Kohlepp's application to take the real estate exam was granted and he was licensed on June 30, 2006, about 3 weeks after he applied. Brown worked for Todd, a registered sex offender, a realtor who was arrested in the case.